Everybody, it's Mr. Closer. I'm creating this video in the hopes that it will help some of you who maybe missed the discussion of creating your works cited for the research project using EasyBib. And I'm going to go through it step by step, just as I did in class for those who were here, and kind of go through and help you make sure all of your sources are actually in your works cited. So the first thing you need to do, obviously, is open up your research project document, which I have open on the screen. And what I want you to do is go up to View and show the document outline. We did set this up, or I had set this up for you at the beginning of the project so that you could jump between the different sections, and we're going to really use that when we're working on this. We wanted to be jumping between section 3 and the very bottom here with the works cited. So the first thing I'm going to do after opening that up is jump to the sample works cited down here. This was here just to be a placeholder to show you what yours will look like. Except I only have 2 sources here. You're probably going to have more. What we're going to do is just highlight this whole thing and go ahead and delete it. That shouldn't be on your document. Those aren't your sources. Those aren't your notes. Just delete the whole thing. You see, we did lose that. It'll come back. So after I get that deleted, I'm going to go back up to the resource list. Now you should have a big list of sources, or you're only required to have 2, so maybe you just have 2, but you should have your list of sources here. And really you want to wait to do the works cited until you've completed both your research and your presentation. You're going to have links to hopefully the pictures and things that you used for your presentation. I'm going to show you how to do a book source, an internet source, as well as 2 different database sources so that you can kind of see how I'm going to add those in. You have to go in a particular order or else EasyBib will not be able to understand what you mean. So the first thing we're going to do is just try this book one. And I'm going to go up to Add-ons and EasyBib Bibliography Creator and manage the bibliography. It should pop up this window off to the right hand side. You can see 3 choices: book, journal article, or website at the top. We are going to ignore journal article. Okay? EasyBib cannot handle our databases and our journal articles. We're only going to use this for books and websites. So the first thing I'm going to do is book, and I have the title over here, Who Was Claude Monet? Now I can highlight this and copy it and paste it in over here and search. Now you see I get a bunch of results. Maybe you just get one and that's your book and that's great. You might also have to sort through these. So who was Claude Monet? Paw Prints? I don't really know what that is. I don't think that's my book. Claude Monet, Susie Hodge. That's not who was. It's not that. Then there's some in different languages. But I get down here and it says, Who was Claude Monet? This looks kind of right, and Anne Waldron is the author. Now, you may have to check back with the catalog or wherever you got the book. This is the author of my book, Anne Waldron. That's the correct book. So I did get a bunch of results that aren't right. EasyBib isn't perfect. It's just a tool. You have to be careful when you use it. So this is the right one. I'm going to select this one. And you can see it just added and it highlighted yellow for just a brief minute there. And this is the citation that's currently in my list in EasyBib. Now, I can't do anything with it yet. I'm just building the list. I'm going to continue adding all my books until I have them all in here. And then I might go on to my internet sources, including any links I have for using pictures in my presentation. I should have those in section 3 as well. And now I just have one here that I'm going to show you. This is my one website, so I'm going to click Website. Same deal. Come over here, highlight. I can copy this, Control C, and I can paste it, Control V, and search. Well, before I push search, notice this is a full link. I can't put the name. This is not a search like a Google search, like I'm looking for a particular website just by typing in the name of the website. I need the full link. EasyBib is looking for that www.whatever.com, .gov, .edu, whatever domain it is. It's looking for that full link. So I'm searching for that, and it comes right up. It's the National Gallery of Art. That came from this source, and I had copied this link and put it into section 3. So this link at the top, this URL, that's what you want to put into EasyBib for your websites. You can see I have both here. I still have my book, Who was Claude Monet? I still have National Gallery of Art as my website, and I'm going to continue to do that until I have all my books and all my internet sources, all my websites in EasyBib. I might have a really big list here depending on which sources I've used. What I can't do yet is put these two database sources in, and I'll show you how to do that. The first thing we need to do before we do that is actually hit this big red button. That's going to generate my works cited. You can see, hey, it came back. So I click on that, and now I have National Gallery of Art. I have Waldron, Anne, and another author who was Claude Monet, and they are in alphabetical order, N then W, by the first letter of the citation. This is good, except that I'm missing my two database sources. So I need to jump back up to here, and you can see I have two. I'm going to start with actually the second one, this Andy Warhol. I'm going to copy this whole thing, copy, jump back down to my works cited. Now I have to put this in alphabetical order. Andy A comes before N. So I'm going to come here at the beginning of this one. I'm pushing enter on my keyboard to get another line. And then what I'm actually going to do is paste without formatting. If I just click Control V, you guys can see it messes up my format. I've got this weird letter 5 there. I'm going to undo that. I don't want that. What I want to do is paste without formatting, which is Control Shift V. So I do that, and you can see that it only brings the words and the letters and things. It doesn't actually bring that number or the other format, and it follows the form I need. It does the indentation. So now I have A, N, W. Great. I still have one more resource I want to add, this last database. So I'm going to copy this. You can see this one I copied directly. It's a little different. Remember, these came from, if you used a database, here's my Andy Warhol site. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, this is where it's coming from. Okay, you need to copy this that the database gives you. Copying the link up here on a database, not going to help you. EasyBib doesn't understand that link. Same thing here. Here's my Rembrandt source. I'm copying these last 3 lines right here under source citation, and that's what I brought into my section 3. Now I'm going to copy this. I'll show you again. This starts with an R. So I'll just maybe come to the end of where it's going to go in, the one right before it. I hit enter on my keyboard. Okay, and I'm going to paste, right? Did it again. Remember, I don't want to paste. What I want is Control Shift V, paste without formatting. Now look, it got rid of all that junk, all the stuff that was wrong here, this gray background, the wrong size, the wrong indent, the number, and it's formatted correctly for my works cited. So now I have A, N, R, W, all in order. If EasyBib does mess up sometimes. If it does and puts things in the wrong order, it's up to you to correct it. Okay? You cannot like depend on it completely, and it may be wrong. You're going to have to check it over. If this said the National Gallery of Art, I wouldn't put it under T. Okay? The or don't count. So this would still be in correct order. This would go under N. Okay? So now the problem is I said it was very important you had to do all your books, all your internet sources before you started putting in your databases. Watch what happens over here. If I click this red button, like say I add another book or another website, and I click this big red button again, boom. It takes away those databases that we added. EasyBib resets to whatever is over here. If I click the X on this one, it's going to take that out the next time I hit the big red button too. So your databases have to be the last thing that you add, or else EasyBib's going to take those out when you try and push that red button again. Okay, now I lost my Andy Warhol, but that's okay for now. I guess, you know what, it's not okay. I'm going to put it back in because I want to make sure that I'm not doing any plagiarism or anything like that, and I've got all my sources, so I'm going to paste without formatting and get everything back the way it should be. Now this is done. This is great. I've got all my sources, they're in order, and I don't have to worry about anything else with my works cited. This works cited right here, it's got enough sources. I have enough different sources. I've got at least a database and a website, or a database and a book, or a book and a website. Remember, I needed 2 of the 3. I would get full points on this works cited. Okay?